What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rethink Everything podcast. If you've been listening, you are beginning to get a taste of the different authors, the contributors that have been a part of this incredible series so far. And I am here, and I've said this publicly already. We at the point of this recording, we have 9 books out in circulation. We have 3 more that'll be out in the next month. And so I am not shy to say that I believe that the book we're going to talk about today, that we so lovingly call the White Book, that it is the most powerful book we've done. It has the most opportunity for bettering our world, bettering the next generation. And I also love, because I am married to a powerful woman. My mom is a powerful woman, and I hope that I'm raising 2 incredibly powerful daughters. That it's our only book with an entire female cast, and
Woo.
I'm proud of that. And so I've got Brooke and Dana. I'm gonna let you guys introduce one another, and then we're gonna jump in and talk a little bit about rethink everything you know about financial literacy for teens. I'm
So
so glad you
excited.
guys are here.
Thanks for having us. I'm so excited. Well, I want everyone to meet my friend Brooke Lapides. So powerhouse mom, powerhouse mortgage professional, like just super cool overall human. And I could not have imagined doing this book with anyone else. Not only because she was a published and an award-winning published author for
Right.
another financial literacy book for a younger group, but just because the way that she thinks about this and how committed she is to not only her raising her son with financial literacy, but being engaged with so many others to promote financial literacy. So meet my friend, Brooke Lapidus.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thanks so much, Dana.
And Dana, Brooke was just honored in
She
Mortgages
was.
40 Under 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
barely
I was
squeaked
just
by.
scrolling through there, and I was like, "Wait a second, I know her."
I
So
know. That was so
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. Congratulations on
thank
that one,
you.
Brooke. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much. And I would like everybody to meet my friend Dana, who I had such a good time working on this book with. Dana has been in the mortgage industry and financial services for 30 plus years. She's an amazing mom, grandmother, wife, person, friend. She is the CEO and founder of her own consulting firm, Lending Luminary, shining the light on all kinds of different things in the industry. And my favorite fun fact about Dana is she has tall person energy. So when you meet her in person, you will be shocked at how tiny she actually is. She
that
definitely
is
has
awesome.
a commanding presence.
Thank you for that
It's so
introduction,
true.
Brooke. It's so awesome. Thank you.
So I wanna jump right in and just ask you guys, out of you're both brilliant human beings. You've done a lot in your lives, in business and personal. There's probably multiple things that you could have chose to propose a book about, but y'all both came sprinting to me with this desire to not just educate around financial literacy in general, but really do something that pours into our younger, our next up generation. Why was that the one thing on your heart in a more significant way than anything else?
I mean, it was on my heart for I don't know, a dozen or more years. And when I met Brooke through LinkedIn, and obviously we've become, wonderful friends since then in the collaboration of this book. But seeing, the book that she had published for the younger, I'm like, I just knew that she was the right person that I could work with to kind of bring this vision to light. And it really came from sitting down at the dinner table. I raised 2 girls. They're both adults now. One is a mother herself, which is amazing. But we would sit at dinner and we would talk about things like the mortgage payment, writing checks, like all of these different things. And then they'd have friends over at the dinner table with us, and they would be looking at me like, "What are you even talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, don't you talk about this with your parents?" I'm like, "No, we don't talk about this." And I'm like, "Oh," right? And so it just sparked this thing. And, at that time, there was no financial literacy classes happening in high schools. Now we've got 19 states that have adopted a financial
Wow.
literacy component in order to graduate, which is great, but that's a third
It's
of the
not enough.
states, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not enough. And so that's really where it was for my heart. And I reached out to Brooke, and, then I'll let her share, her side of why she wanted to be a part of the project.
Yeah, so I don't have a teenager yet. I have a 4-year-old, but we've already started these conversations. And I didn't really have a financial literacy education growing up. It wasn't anything I learned in high school. I kind of learned by doing and learned by failing, as a lot of the contributors in our book did. So I really wanted the next generation to have something that was easy to read, hopefully fun to read. It's a super interactive book, lots of videos and things like that, so that they would hopefully not make the same mistakes that a lot of us did. When you start off, I started off in this industry as a loan officer, as many of the contributors in the book did as well. So when you talk to people about their finances all day, every day, you start to see a common theme, which is that in this country, a lot of people just don't have the financial background that they really should to be in a place where they're comfortable. So change that for even a few people, then it'll have been worth the work.
That's right. And before we keep going, Brooke, I want to pause for a sec. Tell everybody about 'cause Dana mentioned your book that you did before we knew each other for children. Tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about that, because we'll make sure the link to that is in the show notes so that, people that have small kids, have small grandkids, that they can go grab that for them. So
Sure,
how did that
yeah.
come about?
So it's a picture book. I'm not sure if the filter will pick it up. There we go. It's called Financial Fun from A to Z. I wrote it for my son, and the reason was that was using a in front of him once, and I think it was probably mortgage. And I was trying to explain it to him, and he was like 2, so he was way too young to have any idea what I was talking about. But I just want him to have a general familiarity with these terms as he grows up. And I thought about it and I was like, we really don't have any books like that in our house. And we have a ton of children's books. My husband is a chemist by trade. So when we were having our baby, we got every single science book for babies you can imagine. I mean, we have organic chemistry for babies and robotics for
Wow.
babies and like everything. I mean, we probably have 30 of them. And we didn't have a single book on finances. So I started looking for one, couldn't really find one that was what I was looking for, which was just like, here are the terms that you're going to hear growing up. There's no need to be scared of them. Like, here's what they mean. And so I did it for him, and I was very honored to have the book won the Eiffel Award, which is the Excellence in Financial Literacy Education. They're annual awards from the Institute for Financial Literacy, and so this book won Children's Book of the Year this year for 2025. So I was very
Wow.
excited, very
Awesome.
very honored.
So I want y'all to talk to, if an educator is watching or listening to this, whether they're, actual teacher in a school or they're in administration. Like, I know our goal, and in the new year, we're going to be pushing it really hard, is like, we believe that this book should be a required read in our entire school system nationwide. Why do you believe that this is the book that should fill that hole that we know is currently present in our school system?
For me, I think this is the book because it's written from a perspective of real life situations, right? There's an author in there that is really vulnerable about having to file bankruptcy before she was 20
Mm,
years old, right? Like,
wow.
that's a powerful story. And the other thing is I think we went about it in a way that we didn't dumb it down, we gave all of the real terminology just in a language that I think is just easier for someone that's,
Yeah.
6th grade is probably about the lowest that I think, we would wanna see this in, a curriculum all the way up to 12th grade. I'm gonna share with you guys, this just got picked up by, a local private school in my area, and they're using it as their economics book for the next semester for their 12th graders. So that's fantastic.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and I think that this is a great book for teens, like Dana said, anywhere from middle school up through high school, honestly, college and beyond, but focusing on teens
Yeah.
because of the wide range of perspectives. So there's 14 contributors, and it is all women, but it's women all across the country, all different age ranges. We have a contributor who works for the Cook Inlet Center in Anchorage, Alaska, and helps a lot of people with their finances so that they can become first time home buyers. So a lot of Native Alaskans. We have people who work at credit unions in the Northeast. Dana's down in Texas, and we're all spread out. We all have completely different perspectives, and there's a wide range of topics in the book as well. So I think it keeps it interesting for that age group. There's everything from money mindset and just kind of setting the stage for the rest of the book through what credit reports mean, what's on your credit report, basics of investing, compound interest, which is my baby. So it's just I think it keeps it in what you need to do with teens so that they stay in it.
Yeah,
I
all
love
I
it.
think all of those things are so great, and if there are educators, one of the other things that Brooke and I talked about was this is a great book on its own, right? Like, we have parents giving it to their
Mhm.
kids or reading it together, and then talking about it over dinner tables. But we wanted to take it to the next step, right? If we really do believe in financial literacy and it should be a component for the schools, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for a school district or, a classroom to be able to not only pick up this resource, but have combined resources to go with it. So we're getting ready to launch the student and teacher workbook that will work in parallel to this book. And it
Yeah.
could be so if you're doing a mini mester, it could be done in a mini mester. If you're doing a full semester, it can be done. There's 24 chapters, so it can be broken up in 12 or 24 or even 8, 12, and 24. We're doing all of the test prep for you guys. Like, everything will be there in a bundle to make it easy to deploy this out in school districts.
Yes, and for those of you watching and listening, these incredible women, they're available for your stages. If you've got an assembly that you wanna love on your seniors, I mean, what a better way to send them out than preparing them to have financial literacy. If you wanna bring them in to your middle school, like, what an opportunity, and so I wanna go back in time because most people listening don't know anything about either of your stories. What was the moment where, like, your improved knowledge of finances significantly impacted your life? Or what was the failure that was so painful that it was like, holy cow, I got to get a grip on this? What started your financial literacy journey?
Brooke, go ahead.
I can go. Yeah, this one isn't, me personally, but it's really what sparked things for me with financial
Yeah.
literacy is, before I got into the mortgage industry specifically, I was working at, a credit union on a military installation, and I had a service member come in, and he was, credit card or personal, and I can't remember exactly what we were doing, but I pulled his credit, was reviewing his credit report with him, and I was like, "Okay, I see here you've got this credit card from looks like it's from Best Buy and looks like you haven't been making payments. Like, what's going on with that?" And he was just floored that I knew about it because we were at Fort Lewis in Washington State, and he said, "I opened that in Fort Benning in Georgia when I was, stationed in Georgia. How do you know about that?" And he just
Uh,
had no idea. This is somebody who is going to deploy for our country, is serving his country, a full-blown adult. He was probably 21, feels like a kid to me now, but a
sure.
full-blown adult.
Yeah.
And, had no idea. Nobody had ever sat him down and said like, "Hey, when you open this credit card, this is going to be tied to your social security number. And whether or not you make your payments, everybody's going to be able to see in the future anytime your credit is
Mm.
pulled. Like it just had never been explained to him. So at that point, I started doing some financial literacy, just the basics with different units on base and kind of going over that type of thing with them. And the number of these service members that had no idea was just like mind blowing for me. So that was really what sparked it for
Wow.
me.
That's such a great story, and I think it probably still rings true with some people, which is mind-boggling, right? Like, that someone doesn't understand that your credit follows your whole life journey, regardless of where you live or where you go or what you do. Even your job history is on your credit report. Like, there is so many components that make up, your overall financial wellness picture, hopefully, in a positive way. That's incredible. Mine is personal. I grew up with a dad who was very much an entrepreneur and was, always working, different businesses and growing different businesses. And he was a veteran, so he always was able to use his VA, benefits for buying a home. But the thing that he always said to me is like, you will never really truly create wealth if you don't own real estate. Right. And that just kind of stuck with me. So I actually bought my first home at age 20, which
Wow.
now looking like I just celebrated my 59th birthday. So 39 years ago, I bought my first house, which seems
Wow.
incredible. Now, where I made the mistake was I sold that house and to buy the next one. And what I should have done is leverage my equity, kept that as a rental, and then just kept building and building and building. So, I always want to encourage people that, if you can, right? And you have the capacity to be able to do it, because going from a homeowner to being a landlord is also very different, right? But if you can do it and build real estate legacy wealth like that, I just you can knock it out of the park. But yeah, 20 years old and I bought my first house.
Love that. That's awesome. I want to ask you guys a very random question. I don't even know if y'all will have a good answer, not because of you, but because I might be a dumb question asker for the question I'm about to ask you guys. But I, as most of us are, we're all like thick and just playing around with AI. And I mean, I just did some stupid trend this morning of me in a jumpsuit holding a big candy cane, and it looks so stupid. And my wife is thinks I'm obnoxious. And it's on the internet now. So there's nothing I can do about it. But while you guys were telling those stories, my thought was, what role could AI play in helping someone's financial literacy? Like,
I talk
have you
about
guys
AI a lot. As a matter of
well,
fact,
let's talk about it.
yeah. I think it can be instrumental, right? I
Okay.
mean, the resource that AI, let's just take Chat GPT, for example. I truly believe that, much of the millennial and Gen Z, group right now is using that as their resource for virtually buying anything and everything. It's the reason why
Mhm.
Google has completely changed, how they deliver information back, right? I mean,
Mhm.
before, if you were home shopping on Google, it didn't give you actual listings. If you go to Google today, the AI returns actual listings, right? Like that
Yeah.
just changes the game. And I think it's going to do the exact same thing for a mortgage, right? You'll be able to clearly, start asking questions. And then you might think that they're dumb questions like, how do I buy a house? How do I apply for a mortgage, right? All of that information is going to be returned now in seconds versus you having to either go out and talk to a professional. Now what it cannot do, and please understand this, it cannot replace a human in a mortgage transaction. You have got to have what I would consider an advisor, right? Someone
Yeah.
that can help you understand where and what you can qualify for, because it could be one thing or it could be many things. And if you don't know what the differences are on those, right, that's when a mortgage professional really can come in and help. So I think AI is going to be, like uber impactful in
I
regards
mean,
to financial.
would y'all suggest, and Brooke, you take this one, like if would there be benefit to me, like, getting the PDF version of a bank statement from my personal bank account and, like, loading that into AI and asking it, like, well, we'd blur out, the personal information and all of those things,
Right.
but like, couldn't AI assess, like, my spending habits and instantly, like, tell me, like, "Wow, it feels like you're spending way too much money on entertainment," or "You're going to the grocery store every other day." Like, would that
Yeah.
be a beneficial exercise?
I I think so, absolutely. And you can guide the AI as well. So you can say like, my goal
Yeah,
is to put 30% here, 20% there, that type of thing. Help me figure out where I'm going wrong. Where I can cut things. What you're seeing absolutely, that would be a really good use case for it. And like Dana was saying, the the younger generation and even my generation really starting to use AI in place of just Googling and in place of searching for things. And I would so much rather, if I was a loan officer, I would rather have somebody type it into the chat to ask questions about the home buying process than to go to Reddit and have other people answering with
right.
wrong answers. So I do think it's at least a step up from that. And like Dana said, they absolutely still need a human loan officer to explain everything, but it's better than getting wrong answers from people on Reddit.
Hey, and I
Well,
could
most
say,
banks have that AI feature. If you're working with a
"Oh, yeah."
right, I mean, that's
Mhm.
already built into if I log into my, major banking company's app, it'll give me all my spending history. It'll give me forecasting of my spending.
Do you wanna share your screen and do that real quick?
Well, if
No, I'm just kidding.
no, I don't think so. And I kind of cringe when you said about bank statement, right? Let me tell everybody on this call, or that's going to listen. Do not provide your personal information into this. This is a large language, open, public AI. All right. So
Mhm.
never, never, never use anything that is actually personal unless you want the entire world to be able to access that information.
Yeah, please don't
That's right.
upload your medical records, anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, we've got many more episodes to come. This is just scratching the surface. If you're watching, listening, if you don't have the white book, Rethink Everything You Know About Financial Literacy for Teens. Don't wait for a holiday. That's an unbelievable gift all 365 days of the year. And if you don't mind, get a copy of it and take it to the school board member that you know. Take it to the vice principal of the middle school, the high school. We need people that are teaching our young people to have this book. And so
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for you two. Thank you for leading the charge and bringing this Avengers cast of women together to write this book. And I can't wait to it's we're probably gonna have to start talking about book number 2 in the near future. And I appreciate you both so much. We'll link to y'all's social medias in the notes so that you can go follow these two unbelievable human beings. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on another episode real soon. Bye,
Thanks for
everybody.
having
Thank you.